For this first section of Intermediate Excel, we're going to look at using basic formulas and exploring some functions. We'll start with just simply putting in a formula, doing some addition formulas, as well as exploring some functions. So to begin, I'm going to start in cell A1. And I just want to cover some real basics of formulas. All formulas begin with the equal sign, and if you include a space, it will automatically be deleted when you hit enter, so no spaces are needed. For A1, we're going to type equal sign, 7 plus 8 times 3 divided by 2 minus 4. And before I continue, I typed in this wrong. So let me edit, this is a good learning moment too, because what I did is where that 8 is, it's supposed to actually be a times. So I'll just scroll over it, delete, and make the adjustment as necessary. Okay. So before I actually hit enter, I want to show you that in cell A1, you see the formula we typed in. And then in the top, the formula bar, you see the formula we typed in. Now watch what happens when I hit enter. It moves it down 1. But above here, in where we put our formula, we have our answer, which was 15. If I click cell A1 again, what you'll notice is the difference. In the formula bar, we see how we got the answer 15. In A1, we just see the answer. Now, if you double click in cell A1, now you'll see the formula again. You can edit the formula in either the cell or the formula bar, but you do have to actually double click if you're going to do it in the cell to get the formula to pop up to make those modifications. So let's say I made a typo and I want this to be a 3 instead of a 4. I could do 3 and hit enter, and now I get 16. If I double click, I could also make the change here in the formula bar. I'm going to change it back to 4 and hit enter. So either place you can edit the formula. What you're going to find is the answer in the cell and the formula in the formula bar, unless it's double clicked. Moving on to some addition and showing you how to do some addition formulas. There's a couple of ways to do it, and that's why I have a few examples here. I'm going to show you a couple methods. If we wanted to add this row, you would of course start with the equal sign again, and we could do it the long-handed version. We could type in 253 plus 408 plus 358 plus 388. Now, is that probably the ideal way? It's definitely going to be longer, take a little bit more time from you. Once I hit enter, now we have our answer. So I'm going to show you in a moment how to do that faster and quicker. So we're going to come back to these two formulas. But first, I kind of want to give you an introduction to functions. And functions are helpful because they're shortcuts in essence. So we're going to explore the Formulas tab. So here's the Formulas tab. And here's the Insert function. You can also see here that you've got an auto sum, recently used, financial, logical, text, date and time, lookup and reference, math and trig, and more functions. So there's a ton of functions, and you would just have to go through and explore, but I will show you a few. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click the financial drop-down arrow. And so here's all the ones that fall under the financial realm. You can also, if you're not sure of where to find the function, but you know what function you're wanting to use, you can also find a function by clicking the Insert Function button, which will pop up a dialog box, and you can type what you're looking for. So for this one, we're going to use the date function. So what we're going to do is we're going to type date and go, and it should find the date function for us. And so it found it here, and we're going to click OK. So this allows us to set up our date function with what arguments we have. So it's 2020, and we're in July, and today is the 22nd. So I'm going to type OK. So I was in the cell down here, so it went ahead and typed in 7/22/2020. Okay. Now, the purpose of this date function is that you can actually, if you have a spreadsheet that you've created, you can put in the today function, and what will happen is whatever day it is, this date will automatically change. So right now on this spreadsheet, I have 7/22. If I open it tomorrow, it's going to say 7/22 because I don't have the today function in. But if I'm making changes on a spreadsheet pretty frequently, and I want the date to reflect the day it is and the changes that were made, you would want to put in the today function so it updates the date automatically for you. So how you do that is in this cell here, A22, you would type today, open parentheses, close parentheses, and then you would hit enter. And, oops, you know what I did wrong? I like it when I make mistakes because sometimes then, it is a learning opportunity. So even though this is just typing the today function in, it is still a formula. And so we still have to have the equal sign. And I forgot, I knew this didn't look right. So I need to add the equal sign. So I'm going to add it in the formula bar. And now I'm going to hit enter. So when I hit enter, now it changed it to today's date. So even if you're not sure what the day is, I had to look at my phone earlier. If you've already programmed in the date, when you type in today, it will always put in that day's date. And so even arguments or even functions that require no arguments, as in this case, they still must have the open parentheses, close parentheses to them. So if I was building a spreadsheet and I did have the today function in here as we have, like tomorrow, this would change to 7/23 in this spot. Now this one would not because I didn't have the today function in there, so it's only showing the date that we had. Okay, so we're going to explore the sum function a little bit further. I told you I would show you the shortcuts on this. So with adding these rows up again, you could hit equal. One of the other ways that you could do this a little bit quicker is to type the word sum for addition, open parentheses, and then you could actually go through here and then type A15 through D15. And what it does, close parentheses, and what it does is it highlights this here and shows you what it's going to add together. When you hit enter, it should change our answer. But there's actually even a quicker way. You could do equal, type sum, and then your open parentheses, and you can take your mouse and you can scroll over, and you see it's populating the coordinates A18 through D18. Close parentheses and enter. So there are some of the ways that you can go about doing that and making that a much easier process. I'm gonna look at showing you one other option. So paste. And you could also just click auto sum up here. And you'll see that it highlighted all of these. It put in the coordinates, open parentheses, close parentheses, and then you hit enter. And that is the fastest way to do it. So I've shown you a couple of different ways you can calculate the formula, doing it the long way, typing everything out individually, or putting in the coordinates yourself, highlighting the coordinates, or using this auto sum feature to get the addition problem solved rather quickly. So through this particular exercise, we looked at typing in the formula, understanding the difference between the formula bar and the cell itself, how to enter in the today function, and how to find functions.